Hi team, welcome to the walkthrough for this week. I'm just going to get started. So our first question asks us to express 56 as a product of its prime factors. So if you see prime factors, we're definitely going to start splitting our number into prime factors. This is an even number, so I'm going to take out the prime factor of 2, and I put a ring round it when I know it's prime, because that means I can stop. That means I'm going to use 28, which is half 56. I can split that into 2 and 14, and I'm going to put a ring around 2 because I know I can stop. 14 is then 2 and 7. 2 is prime, and 7 is prime as well. So my answer is 2 times by 2 times by 2 times by 7, which is the same as 2 cubed multiplied by 7. Nice and easy. So question 2. For question 2, we've got a few things, and we want to collect the information first. Okay. So I've got a triangular prism. The volume of the prism is V centimeters cubed. The question is to find a formula for V in terms of X. Give your answer in a simplified form. So we need to remember that the volume of a prism is the cross-sectional area, okay, one slice of it, multiplied by the length. Okay, so let's find the cross-sectional area. To do that, I'm going to help myself just by drawing it out again. And I've got X, and I've got 2X. To find the area of this, it's half times by base times by height, 1/2 times by X times by 2X, which gives me 1/2 times by X times by 2X, which is 2X squared, which is just X squared, because 1/2 times by 2 is 1. So I can write X squared for the cross-sectional area. Now I want the length. The length is going to be this length along here, which I can see is X plus 10. So I have now a formula in terms of X for V, but it says it wants it in a simplified form. So I need to expand and simplify. Do X squared times by X. I get X cubed. I'm then going to do X squared times by 10. I'm going to get plus 10X squared. And that's my final answer. Okay, question 3. Now, question 3 asks us, does we have a square, perimeter of 16 centimeters? I want to work out the proportion of the area of the square that is shaded. A few key things here. If we know that a square has a perimeter of 16 centimeters, I want to think about how I can find the side length of that square. Because it's a square, every single side is the same. So one side is, let me just go back to that. One side is 16 divided by 4, which is 4 centimeters. I can then label all the missing sides on my diagram. 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 2 centimeters, 1 centimeter. Okay, and that's because I know that all of the side lengths are 4 centimeters. Now, I want to find the area of the shape that's shaded, but this is obviously quite a complicated shape. Now, we could have two instincts here. We could try and cut this into shapes that we understand and know, but if we have a shaded shape, we're always looking for what part of the shape we can cut away. Okay, and I can cut away this triangle and this triangle, and when I cut them away, I'll be left with the shaded area. So I'm going to label the two triangles. What's going to happen? I'm going to label the two triangles. This one will be 1, this one will be 2. Okay, so I'm going to start by finding the area of 1. Now to do that, I need to do 1/2 times by base times by height. So 1/2 times by, So the base is 1, multiplied by the height of 4. When I calculate that, 1 times by 4 is 4, times by half is 2 centimetres squared. The area of 2, this shape here, again is half times by base times by height. Doing a half times by the base, which is 4, times by the height, which is 2. 2 times by 4 is 8, times by half is 4 centimetres squared. So, the shaded area, actually I could call that 3. Okay, the shaded area needs to be the total minus 1 minus 2. Now to find the total area, I know it's 4 times by 4 because it's the area of a square. So that's going to be 16 minus 1, which is 2, minus 4, minus 2, which is 4, sorry, the shape 2, which gives me 16 minus 2 is 14, minus 4 is 10 centimetres squared. Now, I haven't finished. I've got 4 marks out of 5 at this point, but I haven't finished it. This is our keyword. What proportion of the area inside of the shape is shaded? Now, that means I need some idea of proportionality, so I'm going to leave my answer as a fraction. 10 out of 16 centimetres squared are shaded, because 16 is the total area and 10 is the shaded area. If I want to, I can simplify that down to 5 out of 8. Now, question 4. Now, this question might be quite hard for you to do, and I appreciate that, but hopefully most of it you can do quite easily. You might have to then draw a grid, but you want to write down the coordinates of A. We go along the corridor up the stairs, so it's x before y, so it's 2, 1 for A. Write down the coordinates of B. It's -2, 3. We always do the x direction first. It says on the grid mark across the point -3, -1. Okay, I'm going to write that here for us. -3, -1. So go -3 and then down 1. So mark it there and label it C. Then says on the grid, draw the line x equals 3. Okay, so again, I'm just going to write that here because I can't get it all on the screen at once. I draw the line x equals 3. Now this one, hopefully we can remember this. We know that x's go across, so quite often we think, right, we're going to just draw a line up here, but x equals 3 is every point that has the coordinate x equals 3. X equals 3 is here, so we're going to find x equals 3, and then we're going to draw a nice line through x equals 3. Now I haven't got a ruler that I can use on this screen, so you have to apologise that mine's not that straight, but obviously you do yours with a ruler to get your marks. So that's the line x equals 3. Let's go on to question 5. So, question 5 says, what's the value of x? Straight away, we should recognise and should be thinking one thing. I'm hoping you've all written this down after this week's work. But then I need to label my sides. So, I'm going to label them. I've got my angle here. That means this is my opposite side. My right angle is here, which means that this is my hypotenuse. That means that is my adjacent. Okay? Now, as always, I'm then going to write out my 4 variables. My angle, my opposite, my adjacent, my hypotenuse. The angle is 30 degrees. The opposite is x centimetres. The adjacent, I've got no information about. The hypotenuse is 18 centimetres. So, I've got angle, O and H, and I need to find the one of these that has O and H in it. Okay, so sine. Sine of the angle equals the opposite, which is x, divided by the hypotenuse, which is 18. To do this one, I multiply both sides by 18, and I should get that x is 18 sine 30. When I type that into a calculator, I should get a nice answer of 9 centimetres. Okay, 9 centimetres. Let's look at question 6, a nice algebra question for us. So, we need to simplify. I'm going to highlight all of the y's. You can use a different colour, and you can do this by circling. Actually, I'm going to do it like that as well, because we won't obviously have loads of different. Let's do it this way. I'm going to put a ring around all of the Y's. I'm going to put a box around every X, and I always include the sign in front of it, and then let's put a little diamond around the numbers. Okay, so I'm going to have 3y because it's the only circle. My x's are 2x and 5x, which is 7x. I've got -4 plus 7. Okay, so start negative, I add 7, so I'm going to cross to 0, and I'll get 3. And I get this, 3y plus 7x plus 3. I want to factorise this question now, factorise. When we factorise, we want to break something into some brackets. Now, we don't know if there's going to be one bracket or two here yet, but we want to see what the highest common shared factor is between here. Because we don't have a number on the end, like +5, like we sometimes see. If we had +5, it would be 2 brackets. Because we don't, we've just got 1 bracket. The highest factor that's shared between both is going to be 2, because that's the highest common factor of the numbers, and then x, because that's the highest common factor of x squared and x. And then need to think, what do I need in the bracket so that when I expand it, I get this answer. 2x times by x gives me 2x squared. 2x times by -2 gives me -4x. So 2x lots of x minus 2 is my answer. Expand and simplify. We've already done a bit of this today. We're going to do 11 minus, I'm going to do -3 times by x, which gives me -3. -3x. I'm then going to do -3 times by +2. -3 times by +2, which will give me -6. Then I want to make sure that I'm simplifying this. I've only got one bit that says x. I'm going to leave that there, -3x, but I've got 11, take away 6, so 5. So that's the same as 5 minus 3x. Now I need to expand and simplify here. I've got 2 brackets here. So when I've got 2 brackets, I'm going to do my grid every single time. X minus 6 is my first bracket. 3x plus 7 is my second. 3x times by x is 3x squared. 3x minus 6 is minus 18x. 7 times by x is plus 7x. 7 times by minus 6 is -42. Now, these 2 brackets, or these 2 boxes will simplify together because they're both terms that have x in them. So I'm going to have 3x squared plus 7x minus 18x leaves me with -11x. Okay, so it's plus 7 minus 18. It's going to be a negative number, minus 11. And then minus 42. And that is my answer. I'm going to pause it there, and then the question 7 will start with the next video.